Alright, Raider Nation, we've got a loaded rundown today, and I promise you every single piece of it is good news. So buckle up, because we're starting with the story that's been hanging over this franchise for months, the Maxx Crosby trade rumors. Let's get the smaller transaction out of the way first, because it matters more than people realize. Cornerback Rasul Douglas just agreed to a one-year deal with the Washington Commanders. Doesn't sound like Raiders business on the surface, right? But here's the thing, every single roster move around the league right now is a data point on how teams are building, who they're targeting, and how the off-season board is shifting. Keep that filed away, because context is everything when we get into the bigger stories. Now let's talk about Crosby, because this is the update Raider Nation has been begging for. For weeks, it felt like every single day brought a new insider claiming Crosby was on his way out of Las Vegas. And can we be honest with each other for a second? Doesn't it feel like some of these rumors get manufactured just to generate clicks in the dead of the offseason? Here's what's actually happening. There is no new information. None. Zero. The people close to Crosby have made it clear that whatever appetite existed earlier this year for a change of scenery has cooled off completely. Crosby has 2 years fully guaranteed with the Raiders, and by every indication, he's exactly where he wants to be. Sometimes the grass looks greener from a distance, and then you get close enough to see it's just AstroTurf with better lighting. That appears to be exactly what happened here. But there's something else simmering underneath this story, and it's frustration. Not frustration from Crosby about his situation with the team, frustration directed at the media cycle itself. It feels like instead of certain reporters trying to shut these rumors down with facts, some of them keep adding fuel to a fire that doesn't need to be burning anymore. And look, generating headlines during a slow news cycle is part of the business. But there's a difference between reporting news and manufacturing drama out of thin air. This is where you come in, Raider Nation. If we, as a fan base, collectively call out the noise every time it pops up, we can help kill these rumors for good. We are one of the most passionate fan bases in this entire league. Let's use that passion to demand real information instead of recycled speculation. Maxx Crosby isn't going anywhere. Not this year. Not unless something drastically changes at the trade deadline, which, right now, there is zero indication of. So here's a question for you before we move forward. Why do you think Crosby trade rumors keep resurfacing even when there's nothing new to report? Drop your theory in the comments, because I guarantee there are a few different takes on this. Now let's shift into the story that honestly has me more excited than anything else we're covering today, and it's about Fernando Mendoza. There's a quote from Mendoza that stuck with people since last year, where he explained that the reason he transferred to Indiana was to become the best version of himself. If you're a Raiders fan, that single sentence should give you chills, because that's exactly the mentality this franchise needs at the quarterback position heading into a new era. Former NFL quarterback David Carr recently went digging for answers about Mendoza, because let's be real, every single person who's interviewed about a top prospect is going to say glowing things. Coaches say it. Teammates say it. Analysts say it. At some point, you have to wonder if it's genuine or just the script everyone recites in front of a camera. So Carr did something smart. He reached out to Raiders quarterbacks coach Mike Sullivan, someone he actually has history with. Carr and Sullivan worked together with the New York Giants back in 2010 and 2011, when Sullivan was the quarterbacks coach and Carr was the backup to Eli Manning, the same season the Giants won the Super Bowl. The following year, Sullivan moved on to become the offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay and even tried to bring Carr along with him. That move never happened, but the relationship stuck. And when you have a real relationship with someone, you get real answers, not talking points. So what did Sullivan tell Carr? In short, it's a process, but he's genuinely excited about what he's seeing from Mendoza. Sullivan is someone known for digging deep into film, being meticulous with preparation, and demanding the work matches the talk. That is precisely the type of coach a rookie quarterback needs surrounding him. And it lines up with everything the Raiders have done all offseason to set Mendoza up for long-term success, including having him work with veteran quarterback whisperer Brian Griese well before the draft even happened, learning West Coast concepts and getting comfortable operating under center. When you draft a quarterback with the number 1 overall pick, you're not just hoping for a good rookie season, you're hoping for a career. You're hoping for Super Bowls. And hearing someone with Sullivan's track record and Carr's credibility both point in the same direction should give this fan base a real reason for optimism. It's not just coaches either. Talk to the players who spent years lined up next to Mendoza at Indiana, receivers, tight ends, defensive backs, running backs, and you get the same story over and over. Glowing praise, real respect, genuine belief in who he is as a leader and a competitor. When that many voices, from that many different backgrounds and positions, are saying the same thing independently, it stops feeling like coincidence and starts feeling like truth. Alright, here's your question of the day, and I want you to actually comment below with your honest take. Do you believe Fernando Mendoza is ready to be a difference maker in year 1, or does he need a full season to develop behind a veteran before he takes over? Let's see where the fan base really stands on this. Now, let's close things out with a name that should have every single Raiders fan fired up heading into next season, Ashton Jeanty. Legendary running back LaDainian Tomlinson recently spoke out about Jeanty, and it's exactly the kind of endorsement that should silence any doubters after a rocky rookie campaign. Tomlinson made it clear he's a believer, saying Jeanty flashed the kind of qualities that top-tier running backs show even when they're stuck on a struggling offense. And here's why that comparison carries so much weight. Tomlinson's own rookie season with the Chargers wasn't some highlight reel of dominance either. He averaged somewhere around 3.7 to 3.8 yards per carry his first year in the league, dealing with the same kind of growing pains every young back experiences. Sound familiar? Because Jeanty's rookie season numbers came in almost identical, about 3.6 yards per carry, playing behind what was statistically one of the worst offensive lines and the least productive offense in the entire NFL last season. Tomlinson didn't hold back either. He said he's targeting Jeanty specifically in his fantasy football drafts this year and plans on building his roster around him. Coming from a Hall of Fame caliber back, that's not just a compliment, that's a signal. And when you actually dig into what Jeanty accomplished despite the circumstances, the numbers become even more impressive. He put up over 1,300 yards of total offense and reached double-digit total touchdowns, all while operating behind a line that gave him almost nothing to work with. Imagine what happens this season when that offensive line gets real investment, when the passing game finally has actual threats, and when Jeanty isn't running into a wall of defenders on nearly every single carry. This is exactly why so many people around the league, not just die-hard Raiders fans, are calling Jeanty a potential fantasy football league winner heading into this year. When you combine improved blocking with a workload that's only going to increase, you get a running back capable of putting up numbers that could carry entire fantasy rosters on his own. So here's where we land today, Raider Nation. Maxx Crosby isn't going anywhere, and it's time to shut those trade rumors down for good. Fernando Mendoza has real people close to the situation speaking with genuine confidence about his growth and mentality. And Ashton Jeanty has a Hall of Famer publicly co-signing his breakout potential heading into year 2. This offseason has given this fan base real reasons for optimism, and I don't think that's an exaggeration. The pieces are being put into place, the right development plan at quarterback, a workhorse running back who's earned respect around the league, and a defensive centerpiece who isn't going anywhere. Let me know down below which of these 3 stories has you the most fired up heading into the season. Is it locking down Crosby for the long haul, the belief being built around Mendoza, or the buzz surrounding Jeanty's second-year leap? Drop your thoughts, get the conversation going, and let's keep building this community together. Thanks for watching, Raider Nation. Let's ride into this season with our eyes wide open and our expectations high. See you in the next one.